Hi and welcome to Dramatic Knits. My name is Steve, also known as Dramatic Knits, and today is Sunday, August 2nd, 2015. This is episode 219. If you're a returning viewer, thanks for coming back one more week, and if you're new, hopefully you enjoy today's show and you'll come back in the future. I have both doggies up here. I have Corn Dog in my lap and Ernest trying to get in my lap, but I figured it's been a while since you've seen Corn Dog, so they both got groomed this week, and come here, Ernest. He's trying real hard. And Corn Dog got a cut we didn't really want. They mistakenly thought that this was a different Cairn Terrier that was also in to be groomed that day, so they started cutting him in a Cairn Terrier cut, and that was not what we wanted. We just wanted him shaped up, and needless to say, they were halfway down the back when they realized it and freaked out and called me, and I was like, well, there's nothing you can do now. So he's got a Cairn Terrier cut, and took a little while getting used to looking at him like that, but he is very interested in what Ernest is doing. So come here, say hi. Say hi. He is very loving, and his real name is Cornelius, for those of you who are new, but we call him Corn Dog. So, yeah. Yes, I know. So, as you can see, Kelly is not with me again this week. I guess life is very, very busy for her as she has the county fair, which she is part of, the organization and implementation of that. So, that is going down next weekend. So, she's been prepping for that. She says it may be a couple weeks before she's back on the show. I don't blame her. I understand. Life is very busy for her right now, and you know, she's got to do what she's got to do. So, and plus, she probably doesn't have a whole lot of knitting to show, and you know, it is what it is. So, I have quite a few things to talk about this week, but I'm going to try to keep it a little bit shorter since I don't have an SSK recap. But I will tell you now that due to us vending at Stitches Midwest next weekend, there will be no show next weekend, so it'll be another 2 weeks before you see my bright and lively face. You want to get down, bud? Yeah? Okay. Alright, alright. Go on, go be free. So, quick week in review. You can see leading man back there. He was doing laundry. Just a lot of prepping for stitches and all that jazz. My leading man has actually been off since Friday, and he's off through tomorrow, Monday, which has really been helpful to have 4 days off. With both of us dying and working and getting things ready. We were worried we weren't going to have a whole lot of backstock, especially of our showstopper base, which is kind of our biggest seller. But, you know, in the past 2 days, we've dyed almost extra 100 skeins of showstoppers. So, that's been good. And, like I said, dogs got groomed. That was the big exciting news. My mom and sister are coming into town on Tuesday. My mom is officially signing a lease and getting the keys for an apartment here in the small town that I live in. So they've been really busy downsizing and getting rid of stuff and getting ready to move. She'll be officially moving down here towards the end of the month. But we just made plans this morning, actually, that my mom's coming in Tuesday. They were going to leave Wednesday. My mom is still going to leave Wednesday, but my sister's going to stay with me and come up to Stitches and help me set up. And then I will drive her back home Thursday night after the market, and then drive back to the hotel. So, but I figure in the end it's going to be a lot better to have an extra pair of hands to help me, since Andy will not be coming up until late Thursday night. He's got inventory at work this week, so he will be very busy, and will be running up to meet me at Stitches when he gets off work on Thursday. So, I'll also have some other help. Sarah Abram, Bernhardt Abram, who is our featured designer. Sorry about the barks. I'll warn you right now. They're playing with their toy. She is offered to help as well, so she's going to be helping me set up, and we'll be in and out of the booth, I believe, most of the weekend, helping to model some of her designs that she's designed out of our yarn and things of that nature. So you may get the opportunity to meet her as well if you're coming to Stitches Midwest and you visit our booth. So I'll talk more about that, what's coming to Stitches a little bit later at the end of the show. So let's get into the knitting. What's taking about this week? I do have a finished object. I finished my Felicity cowl by Megan Sanders. I used Barocco Folio in the Monhagen colorway on size 5 US, 3.75 millimeters, and it is a tall cowl. In fact, this was the bind-off row, but due to it, I did a stretchy bind-off. I was wearing it at the bottom, but I can't remember if I must not have moved the Dicky-Doo from before Stitches, because I know I didn't do that much this week. But it's very soft, very cushy around the neck. The one thing is it does roll a lot, so you're getting a lot of the reverse stockinette. But, it's the nature of the beast. And I actually kind of like it, just with a little bit of the pattern sticking out. And, you can always roll it up. You could even bring it over your head if you wanted to. But it's very light and ethereal. Nothing too bulky or warm. Be great for a fall knit. I used almost a full 2 balls of Barocco Folio, about 412 yards. I had 6 grams left over when I was done. And I followed the pattern to a T. So that's what I finished this week. Alright, so what's on the needles? The first thing are my algae socks. I'm using Knitterly Things Vesper sock yarn in the algae colorway. And, oops, sorry, I meant to turn my phone off. Or on silent. Sorry. And I have about 42 more rows to go before I can start the toe. Yes, I use the row counter on my socks. I'm OCD like that. Anyway, so I did do all the way from the Dicky-Doo. I worked on these almost a whole day while dyeing downstairs, watching TV shows and dyeing. So as you can see, I put in the waist yarn for the Afterthought heel, and I am using my signature DPNs and enjoying that. So those are going. This is the second sock. I still have not put in the heel on the first sock, but that's because I do that when I'm done with the bodies or the main portions of both socks. That's living in my Fat Squirrel Fibers bag. And then the second thing is my Portage sweater by Melissa Shashwari. I'm using Elizabeth Levold Silky Wool in number 65 Spruce. Sizes 7, 6, and 5 US, which is 4.54 and 3.75 millimeters. And that's living in my other Fat Squirrel Fibers bag that I got at SSK. And I did join in the second ball. They're 50-gram balls, so. And I did just move on to another significant section. I was following a specific repeat for a good deal of time. And as you can see from my Dicky-Doo, I did add some. The rows are relatively long since I'm still increasing for the sleeves and all that stuff. Again, I'm a little worried about row gauge, but I did measure, and I still have a little bit ways to go before I split off for the sleeves. But it does have significant stretch, so I think it'll it'll work. So as you can see here, there's the back textured detail and the sleeves, and I think it'll be, even though it says it's a DK weight, it is very light. So I think I'm going to enjoy it because most of the sweaters I've knit for myself are very heavy. Bulky Weight was one sweater, Baby Alpaca was another, and something else, the Barocco Remix, but that was just excessively large on me. So it's a lot more weight and bulk, and I run hot to begin with. So I think this will be a nice piece for around the house when it's cold in the wintertime to throw over my t-shirts, because what I'm wearing right now is what I wear most of the time at home. I have a huge stack of t-shirts from various events and plays and things like that, and now knitting events. So I've got t-shirts to last me probably 2 months before I'd run out. That's one every day. So that's going. And the next thing, the final thing that's on the needles, I have been working on a good deal, and it's grown a lot, and it's in a new bag that I'm going to talk about in a minute. But this is the Malted Milk Shawl by Kate Jackson. I'm using local alpaca worsted. This is mill spun in the colors cream, brown, and Poseidon, which I dyed up, on size 8 US 5mm. And I'm almost into the last body section before I go into an edging and then the lace edging. Worsted weight shawls tend to fly off the needles. So, you can see here from the Dicky-Doo, I just transitioned into the Poseidon and the brown, and I've done 3 more sections, and I've transitioned into the last brown, and then there'll be a couple rows in the cream, and then a lace border in the Poseidon. So, and this is decently scrunched on a 42-inch needle, so I'm enjoying it. It's very, I don't know what to call it, kind of Southwest kind of to me. It speaks a little bit Southwest. But I'm loving how the hand-dyed Poseidon is balancing against the naturals. Just that subtle differences in the tonality of a semi-solid hand-dyed to the solidness of the naturals, I really think speaks, makes the project speak a little bit more than just, basic solid colors. Alright, so that's all that's on the needles. What's in rehearsal, I am going to be casting on, once I get everything processed for the podcast, for the violet Waffles hat. I showed that off last week. I already wound up the yarn. I'm using Daisy Knits, 80% superwash merino, 10% cashmere, 10% nylon in the Thinking of Mel colorway, and this is a DK weight, very round, very plump. There's 231 yards in this game, so I'll be casting on for that here this afternoon. Moving right along, behind the scenes, spinning. In fact, right before I hit the record button, I was ready to record, and I was like, I did not wind off my hand spun onto the Nitty Notty and get my yardage. So I did that quickly before we recorded, and I finished the Greenwood Fiberworks BFL in the confetti colorway, and I got 360 yards of about a heavy fingering weight, and this was a commission spin for Carla. And I'm really in love with this. This is the first time I've spun the same ends together, 2-ply, so the colors matched up. There's times where they, barber pulled just a little bit, but the colors were very similar, like the yellow and green and the deep purple and the lavender. So, it'd be really cool to see how this knits up. It'd be kind of a Noro-esque, very much, much more so than other hand spuns. So I'm excited for this. I need to wash and thwack it, and Carla's going to be at Stitches Midwest, so I'll be able to pass it off to her. So that was a very enjoyable spin, relatively quick, seeing as I had just started this when we recorded last week, so got that done in a week, and it's not even, it's not bulky, it's not a worsted weight. I spent a good deal of time on that. So then my next spin is out of my stash. I used my random number generator on my stash online, and it selected for me Yarn Geek Fibers, which I love, BFL Sparkle in the Sonic Sunset colorway, and I picked this up at the Knitting Pipeline Retreat this year. So you can see it's just an amalgam of color. So I really like that, and I love her BFL Sparkle. It is not like Angelina or anything else. It's Firestar, but it's very well blended in there. There's no lumps and chunks of sparkle. So, I gotta figure out how to spell amalgam. Anyway, I like that as the title. Sorry, I'm shaking the camera a little. Half the time, especially when I record by myself, I say something in my head, or say something in my head, I go, ooh, that'd be a great show title, and then I forget by the time I hit the stop button. So that's what's going to be getting on the wheel probably a little bit later today. So let's move right along into In the Spotlight. What am I watching and reading? I'm still watching Proof, still enjoying that. The Strain, I got a little bit worried because my leading man has to finagle the DVR to make sure that the Strain records, because he records a lot of other things on Sunday nights, and did not finagle it last week, so luckily I found it online and watched it, but he finagled it for tonight, so it's on Sunday nights on FX. And then I told you I had just started Once Upon a Time. I'm over halfway through season 1, and it's an ABC production, so there are, I think, 22 episodes in season 1. It's a fairly lengthy season, so I'm into like episode 12 or 13. I'm actually really enjoying it. If you go into it with the little bit of camp that comes with the premise of the show and embrace it, I think you'll enjoy it. There's a lot of similarities I can see between the other ABC productions that I've watched. Like, I've seen the entire Desperate Housewives series, and there's a lot of music and transitions and camera angles and just general feel of the show that align very much with the other shows that I've seen through ABC. But I enjoy it. I definitely say give it a shot. If you have Netflix Instant is how I'm viewing that. So, didn't watch any movies this week. I'm still listening to Blind Instinct by Robert W. Walker. I'm enjoying that. I'm a little bit over halfway. I have about just over 6 hours left on listening to that. I'm enjoying it. The writing style, I just feel like the author uses way too many adjectives in a row when describing things, and it gets a little bit annoying listening to them. I don't know if reading them I'd feel the same way, but when you're sitting there and it's like 20 adjectives in a row to describe something, I'm like, really? Unnecessary. But if you enjoy, crime dramas and serial killers and forensics and things like that, I'd say give it a shot. It is part of a series. I don't own the series. This is just a book I picked up and, in my mass of books, but it's part of the Jessica Corrin series. So if you're into getting into series, you might check that out as well. And I can tell you this is not the first of the series. I know that much. So, alright, stash enhancement. Did not really go out and buy yarn, but my Three Waters Farm Top of the Month Club for August came in the mail. And once again, I'm blown away. I just need to spend more of it. So this month was Corriedale, and it's 100% 4 ounces Corriedale wool in the Hot and Sweet colorway. And matches my shirt. I'm starting to unwind it. There we go. Look at that. Gorgeous. My lighting in here is wonderful. Right before I got in the shower, before I recorded, it rained for like 20 minutes and hailed. And then by the time I got out of the shower, it was like sunny again. And I was like, well, at least that's good for lighting for the podcast. So that is my stash enhancement this week. So that's already been added to the stash. I've just been waiting to put it in my cubby holes behind me until you saw it. And then I got something in the mail for review. So I'm going to do a project bag review. I was contacted by Darlene, who is the seamstress and owner behind Awesome Granny Bags on Etsy, and she asked me if I would be interested in reviewing one of her bags. So she gave me an option between, I believe, her medium and large sets, and I asked for a large set because I wanted to... Originally, I was going to put my sweater into it, but my sweater is not taking up much room. I actually had the malted milk shawl in here, but it was busting at the seams. So now it is not. It is fitting in my large, awesome granny bag. This is her In the Woods fabric, which I'm kind of in love with. It has a little raccoon with a beanie on. There's hedgehogs, mushrooms, owls, trees. There's squirrels. I saw a beaver on here with a fishing pole. There is a fox with boots and a camera. I mean, it is just the cutest fabric. It has a really good wrist strap attached not to the zipper, but to the side. So you could, if you wanted to throw it on your wrist and you're grabbing something else out of the car. I don't know if, with this size bag, if I would knit out of it while holding on my wrist, but you could also, she has a wonderful little embellishment here. It's not really like a keyring. You couldn't necessarily clip it to your waist, but again, this size, you don't want that hanging off your waist, but you could clip, stitch markers, a carabiner with your keys, things of that nature. It is very well made. One of the major differences that I noticed between these bags and the Silver Shed USA bags that we carry in our shop are that there is no interfacing in the bags. So if you're looking for a nice mixture between, a thick interface bag like the Silver Shed USA, where your needles aren't going to poke through, nothing's going to go through it, it's going to stand up nicely. This still stands up without the interfacing. So it's still squishy, it can compress down into another bag, what have you, but it's not going to have so much rigidity in it. It does have a nice, decent-sized flat bottom. Like I said, it does stand open. The zipper works very well. It has awesome leaves and things of that nature on the inside. And with the large set comes a notions pouch as well, or it could be even a really small, if you're doing hexie puffs and things of that nature. So she has a nice ribbon detail for help grabbing the zipper. It's got that same nice detail embellishment on the side, matching fabrics on the inside, and then she also put in there her card, which again I will link to in the show notes, which is dramaticknits.com, but there's her information as well. And she is on, as you can see, Ravelry, Gmail, Ravelry group. She's on Instagram as well as Awesome Granny. And she also put in there a wonderful, it could be a zipper pull, it's a lobster claw, so it could be a stitch minder, but it's got her logo and everything on there, so you could choose to put it on there. Even the small notions pouch has a flat bottom to it. So I highly recommend them. I was very honored. I heard a lot of good things about her products on other shows, and I was really honored that she contacted me and offered to send one to review. And I'm going to talk about her and her large sets in just a little bit. So she has very graciously given us a coupon code to her shop for 10% off, and that is good until the end of September, September 30th, and for 10% off you enter the code DRAMATICKNITS10. So you can get 10% off anything in her shop as many times as you want, all the way through the end of September. So I want to thank Darlene very much for sending this to me to review. It's so cushy, I could use it as a pillow with my knitting in there. Just make sure the knitting needles don't, poke me in the eyeball or the ear. So I would like to thank Darlene again for sending this to review, and thank her very much for the coupon code. I will continually reference the coupon code throughout the time that it exists. But you can, if you didn't write this down, it's in the show notes. Again, dramatickknits.com. All right, we do want to remind you that we have our sweater knit along going on right now. In order to be eligible, your sweaters must have been started on or after July 1st, 2015, and must be completed on or before October 31st, 2015. It must be an adult-sized sweater, and it must be classified as a sweater on Ravelry. In order to be eligible for prizes, you have to post a finished object picture to our FO thread on Dramatic Knits video podcast group on Ravelry. You must be a member of the group in order to be eligible to win. And for each sweater that you finish, if you finish 2 or 3 sweaters in the 4 months, post a separate picture for each sweater, and that will get you a separate entry into the drawing. Also, if you use any base of Leading Men Fiber Arts, you can post a picture of that FO twice to get 2 entries because you use Leading Men Fiber Arts. We have some wonderful prizes in the works. Callie's donating a sweater lot of yarn. I am donating a sweater lot of yarn as well that I will dye up to the colorway of your choice based on our colorways from the shop. So I think that's pretty much it with the sweater knit along. Hopefully there's been some good chatter over there and interactions, not just Callie and I answering questions, but people talking to one another, which I love. So if you have not joined our Ravelry group, please head on over and join it. There's great collaboration and conversation over there, and I love to see the community growing. So, all right. we have our July Race to the Finished Object contest that came to an end. I locked the thread, and as I said, I think I'm going to pull in prizes prior to recording just to save on time and rigmarole and all that stuff. So this morning I pulled for prizes, and we had 2 wonderful prizes. The first is a medium-sized project bag, Dramatic Knits project bag from the Silver Shed USA. It's wonderful blue and green, and the green paisley on the inside. And the winner of that was number 154, who is Phoenix Fire. And that's Tracy from Burlington, North Carolina, and she had some wonderful spinning in there. So Tracy, please get in contact with me on Ravelry. Send me your first and last name and mailing address, and I will get this out to you as soon as I can. If I'm away at Stitches, it'll have to wait till after I'm back, but it'll be headed your way, so congratulations. The second prize is a pattern from our featured designer, who is Sarah Bernhardt Abram of Sarah Bear Crafts on Ravelry. And she will be with us for another 2 months through September. And the winner of the pattern was number 197, who is Indigo Dog Montana, who is Stephanie from Whitefish, Montana. And she did a wonderful gray hat. So Stephanie, please look at Sarah Bear Crafts on Ravelry. I've also linked to it in the show notes. And let me know which pattern of hers that is giftable through Ravelry you would like. And then I will let Sarah know, and she will gift it to you. So congratulations to Tracy and Stephanie. Thank you so much to everyone for entering and showing off your finished objects. The Race to the Finished Object contest is for anything you finish. Spinning, weaving, knitting, crochet, anything you finish. Post a picture that gets you an entry into some wonderful prizes that we have every month, mostly donated by designers, bag makers, indie dyers, people who want to share some of their stash that maybe they're not in love with anymore. Almost all the prizes are based on donations. So I'm just the facilitator of that, and I love seeing what you guys knit, and I know other people do too. So for August, we have 2 wonderful prizes again. Darlene, Awesome Granny, is going to donate a large set. So that comes with what did I do with the little one? I put it in here. Comes with the large bag plus the no strings pouch. And you will be able to pick any large set from her shop, and she will mail it to you. So that is one of the prizes for August. The other prize is another pattern from Sarah, our featured designer. So go on over there. People are already posting what they finished in the month of August, and it doesn't have to be started this month. It could have been started prior to August, but anything you finish in the month of August, post a picture. Each FO gets you a separate entry into the drawing. Again, you must be a member of the group in order to be eligible to win. Alright, that is it for our regularly scheduled show, but I am going to go into center stage. I'm going to be relatively quick and show off just a few things, so I would stick around. So, all things Leading Men Fiber Arts, what's going on? Well, we know Stitches is coming up, but before I go into that, I do want to tell you we have another show on the books that's coming up on September 19th, and that is Fiber in the Park. It's in northern central Illinois. Let me get you the exact town. If my internet will work. I thought to look it up and forgot. I believe it's in Earlville, Illinois. Yep. And it's a relatively smaller event, but a good deal of visitors. And I will link to their Facebook page on the show notes. It'll be September 19th. Does it say the hours? 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. And we will be under the pavilion. They have like a, park pavilion, and then they also have vendors around outside. We will be in the pavilion, and we're excited about that. Not sure if Andy will be there or not. It depends on, again, this transition. If he transitions in his job, he'll have weekends off, so he'll be helping me if that happens. If not, it'll just be me. If it's just me, we're not going to do our full setup. We will be doing a tabletop setup and things of that nature. So a little bit smaller, but if you're in the area, come on out. And we look forward to seeing you. So again, that's September 19th. We'll be at Fiber in the Park in Earlville, Illinois. As I hear from other shows and apply for more, I'll let you know what else is going to be on the docket. Alright, so Stitches is coming up next week. Crazy, I know. It's amazing how the time flies, and my summer's almost over. By the time I record again, I'll be back at work. I won't have seen kids, but I'll be back at work for 2 days. I go back on the 14th, I think, that Thursday. I got a new principal again. But it's actually one of our assistant principals that's been there the past 3 years, so I know her. Hopefully she does a good job. This is her first time being a principal, so we'll see. But anyway, so Stitches is coming up. Like I said, my sister's going to help me set up, and Sarah Bernhardt Abram, the designer of many wonderful, awesome patterns, a lot of new ones. She has 3 new designs that will premiere at Stitches in our booth, out of our yarn. Exciting. She'll be there to also help me set up. She's also bringing a mannequin. We're going to have a mannequin in our booth. Where we're going to put it, I don't know. But I'm going to make it work. But it's going to showcase one of her new shawl designs that we're going to have kits for. So, is there anything else I wanted to tell you about Stitches? We'll be in booth 901, which when you walk in the door and go turn to your right will be all the way in the corner up front. And excited about that. So I thought I brought up a few of the specialty items that we've gotten prepared that I thought I'd show you. So gradients. We have a bunch of leftover gradients from SSK. So we didn't have to dye as many, but we still dyed about 25 more sets, I believe, than what we had left over. So there'll be a good deal, and we'll have some for, down stock. So if you come on Saturday or Sunday, don't worry, we shouldn't be sold out. But, most of our gradients are from this light to dark. So like this one's the Emerald City gradient. This one's a new one. We've never done this green. We've actually only repeated a few of the colorways that have been really popular, but most of them we tend to do new colors. So this is Emerald City. And again, these retail for $40. This is 650 yards of superwash BFL fingering weight, and you get 130 yards per mini skein. And then I tried a color to black gradient. I'm not as super happy with my intervals of the black, but I still think it's very pretty. So you can see here I'm calling this Tainted Love. It goes from this magenta to black. So those are some of them. There's more that I didn't bring up. What else? Mini skein sets. I added, we had a good deal left over from SSK and ZK and all that. So there will be some in Showstopper. There'll be a couple different packs in Show Stealer. And then we'll have a lot in Spotlight. I did up 15 new mini skein sets in Spotlight. This one I posted on Instagram. I'm kind of in love with. These neons and then the gray. So we've got Fishbowl, Barbie's Nighty, Alien Attack, My Lip Gloss Be Poppin', and London Fog. So the Spotlight minis are 79 yards each, 20 grams, for a total of 395 yards to the 100 grams. So, and these are 27. And then we just packaged this one up this morning. Some blues and browns. We have Dames at Sea, Breaking Ground, Apple Bottom, Sandcastle, and Old Blue Eyes. So I tried to color coordinate so that you could use them like in a Magic Cake shawl. You could use them in color work. There's some hats and shawls and things out there that showcase the mini skeins. There may be some new ones coming out, just saying. So I try to make them, especially the semi-solid ones. We have some variegated sets too, which are great for sock blankets and things like that. So. Alright, I told you I did do up about 10 new sock blanks besides our leftovers, and I'm kind of in love with the technique I use. I use the same technique on all these, and I'm having fun naming the sock blanks because they're all one of a kind. I've actually gone to idioms, which is, kind of that overused saying in the English language. Again, a nod to my English teacher background. So I've gotten through, I have a website I go to that has a list of all of them, and they're in alphabetical order, and I've gotten through all the A's, and I'm into the B's, but I just grabbed 2 random ones here to show you. Our improv sock blanks are single knit, so you would not get matching socks by any means. They're 463 yards of 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon. They're the same base as Showstopper, but different products. So they're called improv sock blanks because improv, one of a kind, never to be repeated again. This one I called All Greek to Me. So I'm kind of in love with this technique I used. And I'd be really interested to see how some of these knit up. Love. Love, love, love. I kind of don't care if they don't sell. I'll just knit boomerangs out of them. And then this one I'm totally in love with. This one I actually was like, ooh, I gotta bring that one up to show off. This one's As High as a Kite. And just look at all the different colors in there. Love this one so hard. So hard. Very much like, it's very much like graffiti, the way that I apply the dyes and the way that they're processed and cooked and everything. So, love the way that it comes out. So, and again, not all of these may be out at all times at Stitches, so just be aware of that. We'll probably put some out. You know, it's a 4-day show. This is our first time doing a 4-day show, and I think we have enough stock to be able to hold some back and put things out as the show progresses. Alright. Also at Stitches, for the first time ever, we are going to be premiering kits. We have not really done kits for anything. We don't have a whole lot of designs that require more than one skein, or, you know, if they're 2 skeins, it's of the same color. So this is the first time we're doing kits, and we are doing kits for Sarah Bernhardt Abrams, Sarah Bear Crafts, her new pattern that will be released at Stitches, which is called Polyphony. And we've packaged them up. They come with 3 full skeins of Show Stealer, our MCN base, and then you will also get a coupon code on the inside to download the pattern for free of her kit, and you can see her modeling it there on the sticker. And they will retail for $75. So essentially you're paying for the 3 skeins, plus you're really getting the pattern for about half price of what it would normally be. So, but you got to take into account the cost of packaging and things of that nature. So this one's a new semi-solid color. We got new dyes too in the other day, so I'm doing some new semi-solids. I don't know how many will be at the show, but this one I did for the kits. It's called Moonlight, and I'm so in love with that color and the speckling in it. It's a very light gray with blue speckles. So that's Moonlight. This is kind of a Man of Mystery one. We did base some of the kits off of some of the colors we use in our variegated yarns. And then there'll be quite a few in the colors of the shawl. And then here's another one we did. So I'm excited. I think they came out really nice. I like the packaging. You know, it's always a finagle to see how they work and, you know, try to make the packaging work. So we will have kits. There will be 30 of these. They are limited edition. If they sell out at Stitches, that's all there will be of them ever. Unless, yeah, probably. I hope to work with Sarah again and, you know, maybe do some kits for Stitches, or maybe possibly she also comes to Vogue. So since we're doing Vogue in October, maybe she'll have a new design out. We could do kits for there. So there'll be 30 different kits. For example, most of them, there's only 2 sets. So like this one, this color set, there's only 2 of them. Right? 2 of them. So we have 2 sets that have 4 each. But other than that, there's only 2 of each. So if you come to Stitches, please stop by the booth and come say hi. If you see me wandering around, don't be afraid to stop me. I will be at the Podcaster Meetup, which is from 1 to 2 on the 2nd level on Saturday. If you're going to be there on Saturday, please stop by. I know that Paula of Knitting Pipeline will be there, and Megan of the Stockinette Zombies will also be there. So come on up to the Podcaster Meetup. And if not, don't be afraid to stop me and say hi. If you'd like a button or business card for either the business or the podcast, we'll have them in our booth on our little sample display. So stop by and pick up one of those. They're completely free. And I'm excited. I'm really excited. Stitches is kind of a big deal, so we're going to see how this goes. I'm hoping that Stitches Midwest will stay on the docket for future years. And we're even talking about the possibility, again, depending on this transition with Andy's job, if we will possibly be applying for Stitches South in Nashville, which is in April. Originally, I had said no because I'm still at work and I would have to take Thursday and Friday off. We'd have to drive down like late Wednesday and all this stuff, but if we want the business to grow, we're going to have to make some sacrifices. And I can think of worse sacrifices to have to make in life to succeed. So, other than that, I hope you have a great 2 weeks. Again, I will not be on next week. I'll be at Stitches, so don't be there. You can get your fix by coming and seeing me. If not, I'll see you in 2 weeks. And until then, I hope you knit something dramatic.